Hello everyone. It's me, Champ Commander Coffee, and we are back with another Humankind tutorial. So this is going to be part of my advanced tutorial series. As I said when I did my tier list, I was going to work on a selection of games where I show off a little bit of an opening strategy guide, etc. How to, I suppose, with the different ancient era cultures. So I've just played a few turns. We're currently on turn 11. I could have picked any culture, which is a bit odd. Normally, some cultures would have been picked up by now, but I was allowed to pick any, and I thought, you know what, I'll pick the one that makes the most sense for our starting location. And in this particular run, I think the most appropriate culture to take is the Nubians. So we're going to be showing off the Nubians today, and I'll give you guys a few tips, tricks, and how I like to play them. Now, why did we pick the Nubians? Well, we have a couple of Luxes here, We've got a dies over here, so that's 5 already within 3 territories. And if I take this territory over here, I get some pearls and I get some more silk. Now, these are very, very good opening Luxes. Dye gives extra industry, and especially the silk gives extra industry per silk on Maker's Quarters. So there's a lot of extra industry that we can get there from that, which is really cool. So we're going to set up Suhail as our first city, as Kerma. I'm actually going to set up an outpost over here as well. I'm not going to be too fussed about setting up the most, perfect outpost spots. That's not the point of this video. This video is talking about what do you do with Nubia, right? Well, if you pick Nubia, firstly, when should you pick them? Well, my general rule of thumb is if you can find a good start location where within about 4 or 5 territories you have 6+ luxury resources, the Nubians are a fantastic pick because it means you can get all of them hooked up very, very quickly. You'll have a relatively small empire in terms of expansion, but you will profit off of your abilities much, much faster. Alright? So, what we're going to do here, I'm also going to show off a little bit about city building because they are more of a builder nation. Drop a few tips for that. We're going to start off with calendar. I always recommend you start off with calendar as Nubia because you want to get these Luxes hooked up as quickly as possible. Now, normally you'd want to build your pyramid, your unique district as quickly as you can. I mean, you want to build the potless first because extra influence is always super, super useful. So build that first. I will show you where I would normally be placing the pyramid for maximum efficiency. Okay. Now you want to place a pyramid where you're going to put Maker's Quarters adjacent to it, right? But it counts as a market quarter. Now market quarters increase the amount of gold that you get from luxury deposits. So if we place the pyramids here, it would boost both of these lux deposits. But I'd have to build a bunch of districts out. Or do I? That's the trick. We won't have to build out loads of districts, and I'll show you why. For now, though, we need to just keep exploring. I'm going to just be putting most of my scouts on auto explore, so I can focus on the important stuff in this run. Oh, there's a lair. Guess we'll go burn that down. And we'll have this scout is going to be getting ready to build an outpost over here. Probably right on this tile. Seems pretty good. You can actually build it on the river tile itself, which also works out nicely. Put you there, so you can just chill for now. You guys can come burn that sanctuary down for a little bit of extra gold. You guys can go also explore. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna be chilling. Now you do want to ideally find some other civs. There we go, we found some more civs. Go try to trade Luxes with them. They refuse. That's fine. Always, if you're playing as the Nubians especially, try to trade Luxes with as many people as you can early on, because they're going to want to buy your luxuries, which is a big deal. You want people to buy your luxuries because it's going to help improve your economy pretty fantastically. We're going to buy out the Potter's Workshop as soon as we can. I'd also I recommend you put yourself on an expert policy because it'll let you drag your workers around. But that's more of a fundamental thing. I'll come to that later. We don't really need people on gold because we're going to get so much gold. We're going to get so much gold, guys. It's not going to matter. But now we've finished the potters, what do we build next? What do we build next? Because I said I want to save building the pyramid until later. Well, I can build a makers here for +6 industry, which isn't too bad. I can also build farmers here for +5. We won't worry about the farmers right now. I'm probably going to attach outposts for most of our food going forward. There we go, we found Vinakunka, which meant we got a bunch of extra science, which is useful because we finished calendar. Next we're going to go for carpentry, because we want to get access to our archers, very, very helpful. After that, you can kind of go how you like. Me personally, I'd like to at least get access to organised warfare fairly early on. These tutorials are on Humankind difficulty, it'll be in the description of the video as well as the title, but I like to make sure people know that because these are for people who are trying to, you know, learn to perform better on the higher difficulty settings. Yeah. So I'm going to throw down an outpost here. And then we're going to save most of our influence. Rather than attaching, we're going to be getting these hooked up. We want to attach our first outpost because it only costs 30. But after that, we're going to be focusing on getting things hooked up. So let's get this artisan's quarter. Let's get both these artisan's quarters. No, you know what? Get the makers done first. Get a little bit more industry. I don't need people on science anymore. We're going to go put them on industry. Get that maker's quarter done as quickly as we can. Because that's going to give us a big boost to our production of everything. Now, ideally, you want to stay in the Neolithic until you have a certain set of resources, but for the purposes of these videos, I'm not going to try have the most optimal starts or the most powerful starts. I'm just going to try work with what the map gives us, and I mean that's what you're going to be doing in most of your runs anyway, so I think that's fair. Okay, we can attach our first outpost. We're going to attach Chamuki. This has a good selection of food and industry, so this is a really good tile to attach early on. And over here, what we'll do is we're going to place the Mero pyramids right here. The Luxors are all the way over here, so we're not going to worry about that. Placing them here is fine, because I can put another makers there if I want. I could also choose to put them here, and put a makers here and here, which is also not a terrible idea. This requires a little bit more setup to be worth it, and it does eat up the river tile. But yeah, you know what? We're going to be playing builder. Let's try. I mean, if you're picking a merchant civ, you are going to be playing fairly. You can play offensively with using the Tarset archers, but if you're picking a merchant civ, generally speaking, you're going to be playing relatively defensively. And that is what the Tarset archers excel at anyway. They excel at playing defensively. So don't worry too much about, like, you can plan for the long term is what I'm trying to say. You can plan for long term and it will work out nicely. Okay, speaking of planning for long term, we have good rivers, reasonably good rivers. So let's go grab irrigation. And we're also by the coast, so let's grab fishing. Those are both going to be useful. And after that, I'm probably going to go tech for organised warfare. Then we'll pick up masonry, backtrack for domestication. We'll pick up writing a bit later. Don't worry about market quarters, as the Nubians, you don't need them. Trust me, you don't need them. Right, there are a load of Luxors around here, it's really good. Right, trade Luxors with Harappans. You want to trade everything? Cool. Try to trade with as many people as you can. Very, very important. It costs you nothing to set up trade. And it's very, very helpful. You can see what resources your at the end other cultures have available. That they've got horses. We could actually buy those horses now, set up a trade route. I would recommend doing this as soon as it's fairly cheap, because now we're going to get a little bit of extra gold from the trade route, +1 from number of trade routes. It's not much, but the horses will be useful once we get domestication as well. As far as civics go, we want to grab the extra influence first. You basically always want to do that. I'll do a tutorial on civics eventually, but it's a bit awkward because they're kind of difficult to unlock in the current stage of the game. Right, so we got this Maker's Quarter built. We're going to put the, look at that, plus 13 gold, 7 industry. Very, very nice there. Very, very nice. And we could put some makers next to it, but there's really no need. It acts as a market quarter, and sometimes that's all you need. It's just to build the merit pyramid. You don't need the adjacency on it. It acts as a makers and a market, and that's already going to give me 2 extra river tiles worth of industry. And it's going to give me extra cash on these. So it's already doing a fantastic job without the adjacency bonus. Ancient era emblematic quarters aren't super exciting. Oh, we're being attacked. Alright, well, I guess I'll just block. I can't really get away from them because they'll get on the flag. That's fine, we'll take some damage here, but we'll survive. And they get forced to retreat. If you want good relations, just renounce. There's no need to trigger all of your neighbours. We'll pass a couple of turns here. Alright, so we're building up some more influence now. We can take a religion. If you're playing passive, it's normally a good idea to take shamanism. If you're playing more aggressive, you probably want to pick polytheism because you're going to be having a lower pop because you're going to start putting it into the army. So yeah, that's generally how I consider the two faiths. We could go for create outpost or attach outpost. I mean, you want to take create outpost so you can get a couple extra tiles down. Eventually, you'll want to reenact it before you enact too many different civics. And early on, I always love the industry cost, but early on the combat strength on units and also moving towards liberty is really, really helpful. And with all this extra influence we picked up from discovering curiosities and things, we can set up more outposts, but more importantly, we can quickly set up some luxuries, which are going to make a lot more difference. You can already see we've got 200 gold in the bank. See if anyone's got any luxes to trade. They've got horses, so we're going to go buy those. Again, more trade routes is good for us. And everyone's only hooking up their strategics. That's fine. All the money we make from selling our resources, doesn't really matter what you pick there. Alright, Babylon. Okay, let's go trade with them. He refused. Okay, that's fine. We'll renounce the treaty. I'll renounce that. That's fine. You chaps are going to come up to over here. Maybe build us some more. And just keep rushing stuff out. Just spend your gold, rush stuff out. Best thing to do is rush out the artisans' quarters because more people will buy them. And they don't scale in cost. So we're going to prioritize getting the dyes up for the extra industry rather than the pearls. The pearls gives money on traders, which is useful, but like not super useful for our opening here. We don't care about independent people so much. And there's the Mycenaeans. Trade with them. Oh, they have saffron. Very nice. We'll want to pick up that as soon as we can. So Kerma's just working on the pyramid. We can set up another Lux. And that's going to give us our builder stars. You can advance very, very quickly with the Nubians, for anyone that's curious. Very, very quickly advance times with the Nubians. Right, these guys are going to just start heading home, I think. You're being attacked, retreat. We don't want anything to do with that. Don't want anything to do with that. Just play safely. Play explorer, play builder. That's what the Nubians are good at. And you should be fine. We're going to take things to boost our liberty ideology, to add extra influence to our pyramids. And you can see there's our first pyramid. It says it only makes 2 gold because it gets more gold if you build makers next to it. We don't need to build makers next to it. It's providing extra gold from these quarters. And it will also act as a market quarter later when I get the ability to build market quarters. So I can put a market quarter there, and then we have like a perfect triangle. So when you make triangles with districts, you want them to be like so. So these two are boosting the pyramid, right? So each district is affecting each other. With luxury and strategic deposits, you can make triangles with them, or in this case, we're really lucky, we can make a whole diamond, which is very, very nice. Now, normally making a diamond with, say I went like, let's say over here, I build these maker's quarters. It's not as efficient to do a diamond with just pure districts. It's more efficient to do it with strategic deposits because, firstly, you can't choose where the deposits are. Secondly, the deposits will get boosted as long as you build things next to them. Now, they don't get affected by infrastructure and stuff as much. There is a few kinds of infrastructure that boost luxury deposits or strategic deposits, but they don't scale with adjacent districts as much. Like over here, what I can do is I can put like a market quarter there and a market quarter there, and jobs are good. And from that point, I can then build out some triangles or even a full like 5-point like hex here. I can build out the whole lot if I want. So just generally speaking, when you've got deposits in good positions like this, try and make the most of them. So we're going to save that for a maker's quarter, or not maker's, a trader's quarter. Alright, got some more horses. Good. Everybody's quite happy to trade with us. I think you attacked. Did you attack me again? Oh no, you attacked me. Right, we're going to renounce that. Scout's being attacked by an enemy scout. We're just going to retreat that. And this warrior is going to go link up. Maybe I'll... No, I'm not going to scare their runner off. Don't bother making attacks. That'll cause grievances. People will push crises, and then you can't... Then your trade will get disrupted. And of course, you don't want your trade getting disrupted as the Nubians. That is far from ideal. That's a bear, so they can just fight that. I'll move them down to that lair there. Okay. Things are coming along nicely. Non-aggression, sure. Share maps. Cool.
Independent people possess sophisticated customs, rights, language, and beliefs. I do hope you're going to treat them well.
So the next tiles we want to get, I mean, ideally we want all these gems, because they boost your market quarters. So the reason the silk's really good is because it boosts maker's quarters, which the mirror pyramids count as a maker's quarter. But the gemstones boost market quarters, and the mirror pyramid counts as a market quarter as well. So we got really lucky with our luxury spawns in this run. But as I said, you only really need about 5-6 close luxury deposits to make the most out of the Nubians. Your special ability is going to scale throughout all the eras, but yeah, you also get 5 on your strategics too. So I mean, we've got some copper there, we've got some horses here, so we're actually more like 8 deposits that we're going to be gathering from, which is a big number. We're definitely going to get a lot of value out of that. Okay, these guys are going to have to defend. Yeah, if this happens, if your scouts get attacked whilst they're exploring, just try retreat. But if you get chased, just end rounds. And more often than not, you'll survive. We got pretty close to just low rolling into oblivion there. We're going to bring these warriors back home. I mean, can't really complain about getting some free warriors. So we're going to bring them back. And you know what? We are going to claim this tile because it's just such a good tile. I'd feel bad if we didn't try to claim it. And as I said, just spend your influence getting those Luxors hooked up, first and foremost, and then secondarily build outposts. You'll have enough gold to fund quite an exceptional army if you do it this way around. Once you get to classical, you can focus on flipping into a more classical expansion or military orientated civilization. Once you've played Nubia. Because you'll have the infrastructure set up to do that easily. They're dead, so just auto. If they're not going to survive the fight, just auto it. It's not a concern. That is a very strange expansion there. I might go burn that down. We might try and capture Sus as well if there's no barbs sitting in it. It's always nice to get a free city early on, but it depends if they get an extra pop. Oh, 120 gold. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing to us. You've got lead. Yeah, just keep an eye on your resources. Now, as far as the ability, now I haven't used the ability yet. You're probably thinking, Jeff, why are you not using your merchant affinity ability? Well, it costs influence to do, and I don't want to spend my influence on things like that. Not yet. I can use my influence to build harbours for free, which is really valuable because harbours are the most industry expensive district you can build. And I have some really good spots for harbours, like over here. I can use my influence to hook up my strategics, and I can get more outposts, which I want to do all of these things, so... Bit sniffly this morning, sorry about that, guys. Right, let's try to pull some of our scouts back to start getting more outposts built up. Sus is free for the taking, so we're going to take it. It didn't have any population in it, so it had no defenders, and the barbarians were peaceful, which means there's no barbs around to like fight us for this. So we just get ourselves a free tile, which is really cool. It's a very nice food tile as well. They're making lots and lots of food here. Yeah, I can make quite an absurd amount of food just by building a few farmers' quarters out. I guess I might as well build. Okay, we'll build like a full like diamond of farmers' quarters there. Start with the Potter's Workshop, buy that out, get the extra influence. Always do that first. We'll go for the irrigation. It's not really worth building the lumber yard first because they're not chopping many forests down. I need to get some tiles attached to Sus to make the most of it. That's fine. With this extra influence we have, we're going to go build a harbour over here.
Your first harbour.
And then we're going to attach this to Kerma.
Trade, voyages of exploration. You will see many things out of this tiny window onto a huge world.
Right, science is going nicely. I can pop everybody on science now. Okay, they took this tile. I'm not super happy about that, but they took this tile as well. I'm gonna have to break my treaty and don't feel like concerned about breaking treaties. I know I'm trading with them a little bit, but I can always like decide that they're my first target for the classical era because they've got a lot of nice resources that we want. Open borders, share maps. Might go with a few alliances, but do I want to ally these guys? They're kind of like blocked in, so they might make a good target as well. But again, we're going to be focusing on trade. That's our jam, you know. That is our jam as the Nubians, is trade. So let's keep focusing on trade. Can I get your copper? Do I have the treaty for that? I don't. I'm not paying for it. Don't pay for trade treaties. Don't do it. Only do it once you're like really far ahead, and like cash stops being like a concern. Don't pay for trade treaties early. You'd just be wasting your gold. Let's take Swift, sure. Let's take Swift on our units. Alright. Alright, lucky. The people are lucky. Alright, Kerma's going to attach up this outpost, and it got itself a harbour for free, which is useful. We can get a very cool mirror pyramid here, and I can throw down a makers there, and that'll boost the mirror pyramid and get me access to the rest of those forest tiles. Besides that, I guess I'll build a harbour there. We could start worrying about our religion as well. We could also just convert so that we don't have to concern ourselves with it. You know what, let's do that. If you're going to convert, do it sooner rather than later. This is Olmec's polytheism. We're just going to reform to Olmec polytheism. Alright, Egypt wants to open borders, that's fine for now. So yeah, you can already see our money's coming in super fast. We got a builder star. Once you've gold starred your main era stars, that's when you can start thinking about aging up. But honestly, you know, we've barely had to do anything. We haven't done any fighting. If I wanted to build an army and start focusing on that, I could. There's absolutely nothing stopping me from doing that. These guys, I'm going to disband them into SUS. Give them a little bit of extra population. Whoops, I forgot to put them on expert policy. Have them doing science. Science is the most important thing to start focusing on in the ancient era. Definitely the most important thing to focus on. Because you can't build science districts, so the only way you can get more science is by putting pop on science. And if you can't put pop on science, you have to do something else. You have to do something else with it, right? There isn't really a point building a pyramid here. In fact, this outpost is basically just purely for its own, you know, like buffs. I don't really need to build anything else there. If I build a farmers here, I can build a maker's court here, which will attach those 3 mountains. But I don't mind building a maker's court here either, because it'll actually collect from these, or from that river tile at the very least. This is still more efficient to put it there. And I can even loop a couple around. Maybe even build the pyramids there, so we'll see. We'll see. Oh, you can build a harbour? We could build a harbour there. We could. Yes, game. Yes, that is an option that I have. Right, do I want to burn that outpost down? I would like to burn that outpost down. Let's go tolerate skirmishers and burn that down. We might need some more troops, so let's build a couple of Tarceti archers and build another warrior as well. We can buy out some of these troops to get them on the board a bit faster. Those guys don't want to leave that encampment. I'd very much prefer it if they leave that encampment. Okay, let's get the copper hooked up. Have I got any more copper in my lands? No, that's it. Okay, I can build a harbour there. You guys retreat. Just going to carry on picking up curiosities for us.
This emblematic unit is a symbol of pride and power for your empire. Let's hope they're worth the price.
We're going to take the assimilate cost to move towards Homeland. Homeland is a very, very good perk. Extra combat strength is always nice. How close are we to getting our... yeah, there you go. Already up to our Silver Merchant Star. And we'll be able to actually age up to the next era very, very soon. By very, very soon, I mean really, really soon. Let's disband another scout into Kerma. You can start disbanding your scouts reasonably early on. And there's no need to force yourself. Don't force yourself to keep them around. Let's build a garrison over there. We might use that to go and attack Memphis. So you can see I'm already planning to do... See, this is how warlike I am. I'm like, oh, I'm going to play a trader civ, and I still plan on killing the next nearest civ to me. That's just how I play, guys. Right, that's a dead scout. Don't worry about the scouts. They've paid themselves off 100 times. Like, it's all good. Right, there's organized warfare, and we've reformed into the that religion, which is nice. Gonna move this Tarceti archer over that way, and we can age up. So, turn 35. Literally, we haven't done anything crazy. There's no like wacky mad strats with this. It's just pretty simple stuff. Yeah, just build some districts, hook up your luxuries, and by turn 35 we can go to classical if we want. Right? I wouldn't recommend aging up with only 1,000 score. If you want to be able to beat the AI on Humankind, you want to age up with about 2k score. So I'm going to keep playing until we get to about 2k score. I don't know if we'll get any militarist stars, but hey, we'll get a lot of science and builder stars, so it's fine. In fact, I'm about to get my gold science star soon. And we should be able to get our gold builder star not far after. Yeah, we're going to get that too. We'll get our first bronze aesthetic star. We should get our agrarian star, and we should get our expansion star too. Because I can attach a third city to Kerma, or third outpost, and Sus can attach Al Shain once that's finished, being ransacked. Now these guys are just going to sit nearby, rather than join up with them, because that will cancel the raiding for a turn, and they might hook that province up whilst the raiding's being cancelled. Science on strategic resources. Okay, nice. I'll take that. I will take that. Spend a bit of gold getting some more buildings up. And we can start building animal barns, and I have plenty of food available, or horses available, so we'll get lots of food from those. Yeah, let's put the animal barns back here. I want to get those districts finished. It's very important we get those finished. Overproductive, 5 industry. Prosperous, 15 money. Well, we do like money, but I do like homeland. And 5 food is fine. We can work with 5 food. Start putting people on industry for now. Just get our industry jobs filled up. You're actually running out of stability, so we need to add that there. They're not going to run out, but they're running a little low is what I should say, really.
With 5 farmers' quarters, this one city must have more farmers than most empires.
Yeah, Sus definitely has a lot of farmers' quarters. Let's get that Maker's Quarter built. That's going to give them a big industry boost. So Sus is going to be a very nice, very large city here. I could build the Mirror Pyramids there. Or even there. And we're blocking up 3 food. Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Let's lock in the Mirror Pyramids. Now you can lock in a emblematic quarter or any quarter as soon as you put 1 turn or even just 1 point of industry into it. It will lock it in. Now if I aged up, I would still continue to build this. The Maker's Quarter produces more industry, so we want that finished first, but I might be aging up soon, so should keep an eye on that. Alright, found this outpost. Al Shain immediately founded, because we founded it on ruins, and then we can immediately get those gemstones hooked up. Go grab that curiosity, and get this hooked up to Sus in just a couple of turns. Very nice. And we have leadership. That's for the extra city cap. Very nice trait to have. We don't need to pick it up just yet, so we won't bother. Instead, let's get that Maker's Quarter finished.
It seems that someone took the phrase "building your future" a bit too literally.
See, we make so much gold. 100 gold a turn is really good for the Ancient Era. Very, very good for the Ancient Era. And it's going to be more than enough gold to provide us everything we need in the next era as well. So, let's go do some more trade. You don't actually have anything to trade. Oh, you got completely conquered. Ouch.
Greetings.
You want to trade everything?
I have a proposition for you.
Okay.
I think you'll like it.
Well,
Nor desirable.
he doesn't want to trade with us. Might have to, yeah, it's funny because our holy site is completely taken over now by another culture. We could always flip religion again. I could flip to these guys' Harappan polytheism, which is spreading instead. Also an option. You guys I'm going to go to war with, so I don't want to trade with you. Can we trade with you guys in the south? Yes, we can. Can I get trade everything? Don't want to pay for that. We make lots of money, but don't pay for the trade. It's not worth it.
A pleasure to see you again.
Okay, can I buy the ebony? Nice. Ebony's nice and cheap. We've got ourselves a small but reasonably sized. This army could deal with most attacks from the AI in the Ancient Era. It's not going to do much to the Classical Era units at all. Absolutely will not. Oh, I've got a bunch of events here. Okay, move me towards science, I suppose. Right, we're up to 2k points, so we can age up. And, like, this is a good time to age up whilst being ahead. Look at that, 2k points, already ahead. I could wait until we get one more pop. One more pop. Yep, next turn we'll get one more. Check these sorts of things, because I can get one more pop, which is going to give me an extra 160 points. Right, for literally just one more turn. And that's worth it. So there you go. We got writing as well, so we get 50 extra points for that. So 2,000 points. decent amount of stars. If I wanted to build troops earlier and decided to attack someone, I could have probably got my military stars as well. If you wanted, you could wait for the expansion star, but obviously expansion stars need to be changed. I'm sure everybody has said this, but the requirements are way too high. This is a 60% land coverage to two continents, New World map. I thought that was quite standard, so I'd set it up like that. But yeah, even then, it's a bit not iffy. What's the right word? It's it requires way too much land to be captured. Right, let's do a little bit more trade with the Harappans. Again, trade with people who are far away from you. I mean, that kind of goes without saying, right? You have no interest in declaring war on them. They're far away. We've got all our Marrow Pyramids set up. I could build another one over here, actually. Ooh. Yeah, let's go lock in that. That is a good spot for Marrow Pyramids, so I'm going to lock that in, and then we'll age up. Now that that's locked in, you'll see when I age up, we can continue to build that. Okay, so we're going to age up. It doesn't really matter who we age up as. We'll just age up as the Axumites because they're a merchant culture. You might want to do a merchant playthrough where you play a bunch of merchant cultures. But there you go. You can see the pyramids are locked in. So I can now build the Marrow Pyramids. I don't know why they've been stalled out of building things, but there you go. Bit of weirdness there. But yeah, there you go. That's the Nubians. Less than 50 turns into the game, we're already in the classical with a good score. We could have picked any culture we wanted. Our cities are doing very nicely. So we got to show off. So if you attach a luxury or a strategic and it's next to your city or next to a district, it counts as its own district for building new districts. So I can build off of this strategic. It also counts as part of the walls. So very helpful for building a city and getting things like this set up. I can actually put, again, very nice makers quarter, +6, or market quarter. +16 for a single market quarter is very, very solid. Eventually, I'd want to build like farmers' quarters out, so I could go like farmers, market, and I could build the market there because these would then be attached, you see? So lots of interesting building options with the Nubians. Very easy to get a good income. Very easy to sort of slingshot yourself because trading resources give you big bonuses, right? I currently am getting 9 industry on my main plaza. So if we just go over the luxuries I've bought already, let's try buy a couple more just before we. Have you suspended my trade? No. And he's made it more expensive. Okay, that's quite cheap. Let's buy that. Alright, let's see if we can get. You've only got saffron. Get a couple more resources to show this off. Obsidian's a percentage one. You don't want to worry about percentage resources until much later into the game. Alright, I guess we are buying this guy's dyes. We'll buy all his dyes. Okay. So let's take a look at our resources. So just from trading and what we already start with, we have 1 pearl, 1 money per trader job. Now, we're not doing trader jobs right now because we don't need to, but we have an extra pearl there. So our traders are going to be worth a decent amount going into the future. So we probably won't need to worry about merchant cultures to make cash because we've got plenty of options for making cash already. 3 saffron, which is +6 food on farmers' quarters. So a place like Sus is making an absurd amount of food for this stage of the game with very little infrastructure invested. 2 gemstones, +4 money on market quarters, which is the Marrow Pyramids. So they're getting an extra +4 from the gemstones. So currently that's an extra 12, 16, 20. I think that's about an extra 20 gold right now, which is pretty good. And we're going to build more market quarters, so, still solid. We have the 7 dyes for an extra 35 industry, base industry, so that's really helpful. That's like an extra 5 workers, effectively. We bought some lead, science per researcher. That we are making use of that. I mean, I've already got like an extra 7 science per turn from that, which is kind of like having an extra pop doing the job. 9 industry on the main plaza and on admin centers. So this gets 9 industry, this gets 9 industry, this gets 9 industry. So for just Kerma, that's already an extra 27 industry, so almost as much as the dyes. And then the silk, 6 industry on makers' quarters. Now, if I was to count makers' quarters, we have a lot more of them. So just the luxury resources themselves, super, super, super relevant for slingshotting your economy. And the Nubians, as I said, they make enough gold. They can buy resources from every player on the map. Not many other cultures can boast having such a strong early gold income, and it does make a massive difference. Making 181 gold per turn in the ancient era without building any market quarters, without building any infrastructure for markets, is a massive deal. And once we get access to trade expeditions, we can add some extra cash on the main plaza. If we go for, where is it? Imperial Power. Customs Farms gives you extra money generated from ongoing trade. So every single trade route going in the city adds an extra +1. And that's only going to scale up. So I've got 14 from number of trade routes in Kerma. And in Sus we have +2. So if I built the customs house here, it's an extra like 14 gold. Which is about the same as building another market quarter. So you can see that it all adds up pretty quickly. And we'd be making enough cash to support a medieval army, honestly. We could support a good, so medieval units about 10 to 20 gold each. So I can support a pretty decently sized medieval army with the money that I make in the ancient era. So there you go. That's the Nubians. It's been me, Chaff Commander Coffee. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it's a little bit longer than usual, but I do need to show off the entirety of the ancient era playing to a respectable level. Again, these are always done on Humankind difficulty, so if you want to get an idea of how to open your games with certain cultures on Humankind, these tutorials are for you. Or if you just want to see how the different cultures play, if you're curious about how one of them plays, you just want some tips about how to open with them, maybe you haven't had much success with them and you're wondering, is it because I'm doing something wrong? Am I just unlucky? Well, you can find out. I mean, there is no wrong way to play a 4X, but I'm trying to show off ways that I believe are like more optimal or playing to the strengths of a particular culture. So yeah, use your influence, get those Luxes hooked up. The faster you get those hooked up, the faster they're going to pay themselves off. Don't worry about claiming loads of outposts. I mean, we even have a respectable, we've got a second city, we've got a respectable capital. We didn't get our expansion stars, but that's okay. What we got instead was a much, much, much stronger position to move forward with. Like, our classical era is going to be incredibly good. Like, we've just entered classical fairly early, and we're already doing tech in the classical, so our technology's good, our income's good, our speed of building things is good. Get some infrastructure set up, and then we're just basically straight to war. You know, there's not if we get our infrastructure set up, there's nothing stopping us going straight to war with our neighbors, except the fact we don't have iron. But hey, we can just buy it. We can just buy it. Right, guys, take it easy. Have a good one. I'll see you all around. As always, there's a link to my live streams in the description. A link to my Discord on the About page of YouTube. And there'll be more announcements and more tutorials coming soon. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you around.